success stories told by the people who lived them.
We're going to have some guests on this show that everybody knows, and we're going to have guests on this show that nobody knows yet.
One by one, Nick Heine is adding hits to the Hitstreak.
Blessings, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Hitstreak. I'm your man, Nick Heine. And folks, joining me in the Hit Lab today is one of my favorite people, and he's joining me all the way from Minnesota, right? And if you're watching with us today, I'm wearing a beautiful bomber jacket that was a gift and literally my favorite piece in the closet from now on. And it took the spot from the last thing that you sent me in that beautiful hoodie that we love to wear all the time here. But folks, check it out. He's the CEO of Bond Branded Gear. Help me welcome Chris Heine. Chris, thanks for hanging out with me, baby.
Nick, thank you for having me. My wife and I are so excited to be in Nashville. We love this city, and I appreciate your hospitality.
Well, brother, we got lots to get into today, man, because if I'm being totally honest, the world of like merchandise, custom apparel, uniforms, promotional products, some might say it's incredibly saturated, yet you guys stick out for all the right reasons, right? So let's just get right into it, dude. What makes you guys who you are? What makes you the best? What makes you different?
That's a great question. I was bred for this business. I actually started working in this industry when I was in 8th grade. So as a kid, I did everything from cleaning, shipping, and receiving. And then 22 years ago, I started selling in this industry, and I have a passion for it. My goal is to elevate every brand that I touch. So our company has a lot of differentiators from our competition, and the in-house production, an awesome customer support team that takes care of all of our customers.
No doubt. Folks, we've been, the moment that I saw, it was actually through my buddy Bradley. Yeah. He was wearing, he was wearing a hoodie. The bomber jacket came second, and we'll tell the story about how he burned up his first one that you sent him. But he was wearing a hoodie, and I literally I hit him up and I was like, "Yo, where did you get that?" And he was like, "Hey, man, it's from my buddy Chris at Bond Branded Gear," and he sent me your Instagram thing, and I shot you a message, and I just said, "Dude, I love the hoodie. You know, look, I'd love to learn more about it." And that was when we started. We had a nice long call, and like you guys, you have access to just different stuff. You know what's cool. You know it looks good. I mean, the stuff you're wearing today is fantastic. It's unbelievable quality, like embroidery and stitching, and it's just top notch, and that's the way that we like to do things around here.
That's right. And
you know what I mean. So, all right. So you said in 8th grade, you talked to me about. Let's go back a little bit and talk to me about the 8th grade Chris and how that led to what we have today. Right. So you were just slinging stuff. How'd that go?
Yeah. So in 8th grade, my brother and my dad started a company called First Choice Uniforms, and I was just a kid in 8th grade. And I started working for the family business. Our whole family worked there. So I was the youngest out of 4 kids. And again, I did everything from cleaning the bathrooms to shipping and receiving and working in production, so many aspects. So I've literally worked in every level of the company.
You know, that's what most of the greatest owners do. It's hard to hire appropriately. It's hard to know what to pay people appropriately if you haven't done the work yourself.
Agreed.
You know, that seems like that's always the best way to do it. That's the way we've always done it.
Absolutely.
All right. So the like this bomber jacket I'm wearing, let's tell the folks about that, just because I've never seen anything like it. And then I also want to talk about the brand that you're wearing right now, because that's what our hoodies are that we love so much, right? So let's talk about this bomber jacket right here.
Yeah. So the bomber jacket you're wearing is a brand called Rothko. It's basically a military surplus style. And again, most people in our industry don't have access to this brand. And the bomber jackets are trending right now. So, and it kind of fits you, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yeah.
That's right.
So what we did is we embroidered your logo on the left chest. I did your first initial and your last name on the right chest. And I love my country. So I love putting the U.S. flag on the left shoulder.
Amen.
And then on the back, we did your logo about 8 inches wide. And the logo on the back is 70,000 stitches, which is a massive embroidered logo. It runs for about 2.5 hours on our machines.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 70,000 stitches. I mean, you can feel the weight on that sucker.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely a premium logo for sure.
Well, so talk to me about how you guys know what vendors, what brands to pick to work with. Because again, the reason that I reached out is because I saw something that I had never seen before. All right, you guys getting to Nashville, you flew over, I don't know, probably maybe 10, 100,000 merchandising companies.
Yeah, there's actually 25,000 people in our space in the United States.
Wow. All right. So what makes you stand out? As far as how did you know the relationships that you have? They're super important. What made you pick? What's the secret sauce behind all that stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love staying up on the latest trends of what's in fashion, what's in style. And we have access to about 50,000 different manufacturers in our industry. However, we try to hone those down to our preferred vendors. And then outside of that, we've gone and developed relationships with more boutique brands like Unreal, like Rothko, Glider Apparel, MPG, which is kind of like Lululemon of Canada. So we have access to all these super unique brands that most people don't. So that's a huge differentiator. One of the other things that really makes us different is we do all of our production in-house. So we're in touch with the latest and greatest decoration methods that most people don't do.
That's a big deal because true or false, a lot of the companies that are responsible, that deal with the customers and sell this stuff, they're more just a middle guy, and somebody else is doing a lot of the sewing and maybe even the design work and whatnot, meaning they kind of vet it out, right?
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of that. So they literally are just drop shipping stuff. They don't touch it. They don't know how it works. You'll actually see me back in our production facility putting logos on hats so that I can understand how it works, how it's going to be applied, and how best to use it.
What do you think some of the most the biggest misconceptions about your industry as far as from the customer experience goes? I know I was telling a story before we started that when I first my first business had finally made enough money that we could order some swag, right?
Yeah.
And I was so excited, and I was like, yeah, dude, I need 3 to 5 pieces, and most companies are like, man, it's a minimum of maybe 12 or 24 or 100,
right?
Or whatever it may be, right? So what are some of the misconceptions with companies when it comes to stuff like this?
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the minimums on certain things, and it varies depending on the items that you're ordering. With the promotional products like pens or mugs, it could be 100 pieces, it could be 500, it could be 1,000. With apparel items, again, it varies depending on the logo style. When you're doing t-shirts, we like to do bigger orders. So we've kind of found our space as serving bigger customers and corporations. So, and again, those quantities all vary, but a lot of people view our industry as trinkets and trash or tchotchkes. I hate those words. One of the things that we strive to do as a company is to make premium products. My goal is that I want you to give this to your customer, and whatever the item is that you're giving, I want it to replace the item that they currently have. And they're proud to wear it and proud to use it. That's
big time right there. That's kind of I think that was what I was getting to. There's a lot of really cheap stuff, I guess, when in this world, and in the world. Let's just take the world of digital content or commercials. The best quality production in digital content usually performs the best and lasts the longest. It's the most timeless. It's the stuff you can repurpose and reuse over and over and over again, versus something that you can look at and be like, that was 2022. That's definitely 2022. I can look and tell, right?
That's right.
It's that quality. And a lot of times when you get that merch for the promo product or whatever it is, it's all the shirts are the same size. They're XL. It's the cheapest Gildan t-shirt that they make, and you never wear it. It's usually given away or thrown away. Goodwill. I think half the racks at Goodwill are promotional products.
Probably.
That people gave away. So that's not what you guys are chasing, right? You guys are more like the higher end stuff, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We can do any of those products, but again, I choose not to. I always try to talk my customer into doing premium level products that are going to create residual value. So that's something that they're going to use over and over again.
So going back to the digital marketing, the digital promotional services, it's like, dude, if it's not going to convert, why are you doing it? If it's not going to turn into a lead or a customer, why would you want to do it?
Go big or go home.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, man. That's awesome. You guys are doing all the right things in building your company's brand, building your personal brand. You guys work with influencers and ambassadors, which I think is freaking. I think that's one of the best things that especially a company like yours can do, because those guys have so much attention, or those people have so much attention. And just like, again, it's proof. You're here today because I saw something on a buddy of mine who's considered an influencer. And I was like, where'd you get that? I want to know where it is, Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Social media is a powerful tool. I mean, literally you and I would not have met, without social media. So me posting videos and doing content has expanded our reach significantly. And it's a powerful tool. And 6 months ago, I set out to do just that. And we've been doing content like crazy and showing the process and how stuff is made, different types of logos, products. And it's fascinating for people. And even a lot of people that know me are, they're like, Chris, I didn't know that you could even do that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, again, I was telling you the first time that we spoke, I have great relationships with some great people that have done a lot of promo products for us in the past and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, but so I wasn't looking for a new person, a new partner, a new vendor for that, until I saw something that I had never seen before.
I swept you off your feet.
That's right. And something that nobody else had access to.
That's right.
So talk to me about the Unreal brand that you're worrying about, because that was a pretty cool story, but like the stuff is just like super high quality.
It's really nice.
It's fitted really nice. Like the team loves them. Ben's got his stuff on today here off camera. So talk to me a little bit about the Unreal brand and how that's kind of like an example of how you guys, what you're looking for and a company that you work with.
Yeah. So Unreal is actually a brand that's based out of St. Paul, Minnesota. They're an athleisure brand, more of a boutique brand. Their primary focus is retail. So they're selling to places like Scheels and Dick's Sporting Goods. And then they've also gone on to do drops for the Minnesota Vikings, the Minnesota Wild, and now they've expanded to the entire NFL. So they'll create a sweatshirt for game day for those teams, and they'll drop it, kind of like Jordan's, where they'll release it and they're immediately sold out. Yeah, it's a pretty cool brand. It's all athleisure products, performance materials, and just super unique. All of their features, for instance, their crossover hoodie is their number one item. It's just a really unique hoodie, has cool drawstrings, feels good, and people love them.
Absolutely. As I'm sitting here looking at Ben's, it's almost like a mock all around. The neck is what makes it cool. That was what I saw with Brad's, and I'd never seen anything like that before. It was just a really unique and cool design, and then you guys got your hands on it and just totally took the quality level and just blew it through the roof.
For sure, yeah. So Unreal doesn't sell to most people in the ad specialty business. So we actually went out and developed that relationship with that vendor. And last year alone, I think we sold a few $100,000 of that product. And it's just been an awesome add to our list of vendors for sure.
Talk to me a little bit about, so how long has Bond Branded Gear been a business? When did you guys start? We got Dawn off camera over here, right? So,
that's right.
And that's your business partner and wife, right? Yep. So talk to me about how you guys,
best friend too.
That's right. Talk to me about how you guys kind of, how the vision for the company, how you started it, how you came up with the name.
Yeah. Well, originally it was called First Choice Uniforms and Promotional Products, and it was founded in 1990 when I was in 8th grade. And again, I worked for the company as a kid. My whole family worked there, both my brothers, my sister, my mom actually did bookkeeping. And again, I was the youngest out of 4 kids, and I had a passion for the business at a young age. 22 years ago, I actually started selling for the company. Don and I were pregnant with our daughter, Aaliyah. We weren't married yet. And I'm like, I need to grow up quick and support my family. So I started selling. My first year, I sold about $500,000 as a 23-year-old kid.
Wow.
Which is a pretty significant amount. My second year, I did about $750,000. My third year, I did over $1 million. And every year since, I've grown. And back in 2011, my wife and I bought the company from my dad. We also bought our real estate. So we own our building, which is about 14,000 square feet. That houses a whole customer service support team. We also have our production in-house, and then we have a warehouse that does fulfillment as well. During COVID, obviously that hit us hard. We lost about 50% of our revenue because of COVID, and when businesses aren't doing events, that hurts our industry. So I could have easily crumbled during that time, but instead I chose to rise above it. We did a rebrand and got rid of the name. I hated First Choice Uniforms and Promotional Products. It was always a super confusing name. It was kind of misleading. People always thought we were more of a laundry than they are. Do you do team uniforms? And I'm like, we can, but it's not really our thing. Mm-hmm. So we ended up hiring a company that we worked with on the rebrand, and they interviewed several of our top customers and said, why do you do business with Chris and his team at First Choice? And all of them had the same answer: because of the relationship. And that's how Bond was born, because of the bond that we have with our customers. And marketing wise, Bond has legs in other areas because we bond things together constantly, day in and day out. And it's just kind of fitting for me.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, best thing I've ever done. The rebrand was a lot of work, but again, we brought the name into this century, and best thing I've ever done.
No doubt. No doubt. And it's a kick-ass logo too.
Thank you.
I want to thank all of our loyal fans that spread across all 50 states and 14 different countries. It's absolutely amazing. Folks, help us keep spreading the word, right? Share your favorite episodes with friends, and make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the Hitstreak on all digital platforms. Thanks again, and we look forward to more. I have some Bond branded stuff at home that I wear, especially when I wear it to like baseball, a lot of our baseball stuff. We're doing a lot of my workouts and whatnot. And people around town will be like, what's that?
Yeah.
It totally sticks out. It really does.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, let's talk about that customer experience that everybody was so proud of, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a customer, and I've had great experiences as well. But let's walk people through kind of like, let's say they're reaching out to you guys for the first time. Let's walk them through a process from start to finish on just like what the average customer experience would be.
Absolutely. So the first thing we like to do is develop that relationship and have a conversation. Find out what you're looking to do. If it's an event, when is the event? How many items you're looking for, and kind of get all of those details. I like to get an idea of who I'm dealing with, whether it's a blue collar company like a HVAC company or plumber, all the way up to, a company like US Bank or fitness facilities. Based on that information, I kind of start calculating what products I think will fit their brand and work best for them.
All right.
Yeah.
And so they've you've kind of started to figure out what products it is they might want to be doing, right? So then all of a sudden artwork has to be submitted, and you guys are designing all this stuff.
Absolutely.
So walk me through the design process.
Yeah. So basically from that point on, we put together a handcrafted presentation of the products that we think will work best, and then determine what logo will work best on those items, whether it's embroidery, screen printing, patches for hats, and we can do all types of patches for hats. It's pretty significant. And then from there, we have a graphic service team in-house that puts the logos on those items and creates virtual mock-ups. So we don't print anything, we don't embroider anything or decorate it until all of our T's are crossed and I's are dotted.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do companies ever come in without a logo? Like, has that ever happened before where you guys had to actually help them design like their brand from scratch? Has that ever been a thing?
Of course, yeah. It happens quite often. Or people have logos and they can't find them. They're buried deep in their computer somewhere.
So you guys are having to recreate something that already exists.
Constantly, yeah.
Or like, one of the first things that I ever learned when we were creating our first logos is there was like all these, you had to have different variations of your logo. Like, just like the jacket I'm wearing, the logo on the back's the full logo. The one on the left is more of like the icon, right?
Exactly.
What would let's give the folks out there, those business owners, a little tip right here. When it comes to knowing how many variations of an image that you need, how many are you guys usually asking for and wanting to use?
Kind of depends on the logo that we're doing. For embroidery, all we need is a JPEG, which is like the lowest quality of artwork possible. When we're doing more printed products like screen printing, things like that, we need vector artwork. So that's either an EPS or AI file.
Got it. And I was surprised the first time that I ordered anything that there's some you have to make the tapes, the embroidery tapes, and a lot of times you have to create the artwork.
That's right.
That the machines are going to run off of, right?
Exactly.
So when that happened, I wasn't prepared. I was like, wait a minute, what you have to do? What there was, it's a line item on the invoice and whatnot. So let's set some expectations for the folks, and because again, man, promotional products, especially with digital marketing and everything else, if you're not on this, you're falling behind pretty quick.
That's right. Yeah. So for each of the logos, we have setup charges. So a typical embroidered left chest logo is about $50 to $75 to set up. Once we have that, you'll never need to pay it again unless you change the size of the logo or the logo itself. A full back logo like you have on your jacket there, that's about 70,000 stitches. That logo is anywhere from $100 to $150 depending on the amount of stitches.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a lot of material.
It is. Yeah, for sure.
And time.
That's right. That's the biggest thing is labor. Everything is based around labor and time. So the longer it sits on our machine, the more expensive the logo will get.
So again, like it's almost like asking Picasso how he, the brilliance behind what he does. And sometimes it's hard to really extract that and get that out because again, man, there's a lot of great companies in your space, but again, like those guys aren't necessarily best suited to work with me, right? You and I, the first time we had a conversation, we kind of hit it off a little bit, and it was like, this is like-minded right here. This is good. This is good proximity.
Exactly.
Everything flows. I'm happy with it. With all those things, it's always been a pleasure to when the phone rings and I see your name on the other side, or just to do business with you, right? What is the true magic and brilliance behind what it is that you guys are doing? Because it's like you're just different. I got to figure out exactly. We got to figure out what the difference is. How to describe it to everybody.
Well, number one, it's all about the relationship. Our whole business is founded on building relationships and bonds that last. And again, that's everything to us. We don't want to work with you if you're looking for the cheapest person. That's not going to be us. We're a different level of company. We're trying to elevate every brand that we touch. And I am so passionate about that. I want to make their brand rise above. And I want people to see you in the jacket going, where did you get that jacket? That thing shines. It's nice. So,
that's right. That's right. Where is so obviously standing out is a big deal, but again, it's such a hard thing to do. I'm really struggling with it, and that never happens, to figure out exactly like what's such a great experience. My wife, she loves her stuff, so she didn't have any idea about any of this stuff until the Christmas packages came. Okay. And she put the tie-dye hoodie that you guys sent her. Yeah. She may have worn that more than any other thing in her closet since she got it. Like literally 2 or 3, 4 times a week. She's rocking it. I'm hoping that she's washing it in between, but I'm not going to throw her under the bus like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But dude, it's incredible stuff. And she saw it. She put it on. And she was like, "Wow, this is like Cole Thurman in St. Louis, one of the team members. We mailed him his hoodie, and he literally, the moment he got it, he was like, dude, this is the nicest hoodie I've ever owned in my life."
I love that. And that's my goal right there, is to have reactions just like that. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I think that makes me really good at what I do is I can look at someone and kind of tell what their style is, what they're going to wear. And again, we try to get a product that fits them, their company, their personality, all of those things. And again, we try to be different. I don't want to throw the crappy Gildan shirt at someone that's a $4 t-shirt. I'm looking to rise above that and create something that they've never seen before, something that's unique and out of the box.
No doubt. Talk to me about so it's the magic is the style. Like you're the human style guide. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You know how to help people like bring what it is that they like and are cool and kind of bring it out of them. You knew that this jacket, I was going to love this jacket before. I'd never even tried it on before. Right. You know what I mean? You just have that knack for it. So that's the brilliance behind it. So you need to find somebody that can work with you that knows you enough to make those. Like we even wear the same type shoes. He's got his J's on over there.
That's right. Baby. Yep.
That's what I'm talking
All
about.
All about the Jordans. Love them.
So what are some goals for the business, right? So literally you've come a long way since 8th grade.
Long way, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so what are some of the goals for the business, the 12-month, 3-year, 5-year plan? What's some goals for you guys as far as an ambassador program, wanting to get some influencers on board, repping some stuff and all those things? Talk to me about your goals.
Yeah. We have a lot of goals for this year. So we're actually looking to double in size this year. So we're in scale mode right now. We just implemented EOS. If you're not familiar with that, it's the best-selling book, Traction. So it's the entrepreneurial operating system, which gives you kind of a guide to help run your business, how to scale it, create core values, and also set those short-term and long-term goals. And my job as a visionary of the company is to give my team, here's where we're at and there's where we're going, so that they buy into it and believe, the vision and the story that we're looking to create.
That's right. With your goals for the future, like, talk to me a little bit about like process, especially in your business. Operating procedure is, the framework is everything. There's a lot of moving parts. Not only do you got to get stuff sent to you to get in-house, to design, to get approval on, to sew or silk screen or whatever it may be, and then you've got to ship it out. And by the way, when you get a package from Bond branded gear, the packaging alone, the boxes are like state of the art, first class, awesome stuff. Like, you almost don't want to throw away the boxes. They're so nice. You know what I mean?
That's one of the experiences that we're looking to create. And again, every customer that we touch, we want to create a positive experience. So we chose not to call our customer service team customer service. We call it customer experience, because that's our ultimate goal, is to create a extremely positive experience for every customer that we touch.
I don't even know. We talk a lot about this around here a lot. The difference between informative marketing and transformative marketing. And informative marketing is information that's easily forgotten. Transformative marketing is a feeling that you never forget.
That's right.
And that seems to me like that's what we have in like-mindedness, is we focus 100% on how we made people feel, because we know the information is forgotten often. Yeah.
If you do that, you're always going to win. There's no question about it. So again, we strive to elevate every brand that we touch, and we do that through our products, through the process, which again is that customer experience.
What are talk to me about some of the lessons that you learned along the way, especially in the last 3 or 4 years since COVID, when you guys were coming out of that, I guess the low point due to the world shutting down like that.
For sure.
So talk to me about some of the ways that, because dude, a lot of people in your space didn't make it through COVID.
That's right.
The fact that you kept the doors open, congratulations. That means you had a solid foundation in there. But what are some other let's give some folks some business tips, because again, a business like yours has so many dynamics that you have to keep polished and sharp at all times.
Absolutely. Yeah. Number one is the team. You're only as good as the people around you. Iron sharpens iron. So I've surrounded myself with excellent human beings. First of all, I used to hire based on resumes and talent, and now I hire based on character of the person. So that's number one. Again, we have an awesome team. They're all great people. And again, we truly are a team. If one piece of that machine, which is our team, is not operating or they're causing drama, it just doesn't work. So we don't allow any of that. And we've created a really cohesive workspace where everyone is happy to be there, and we have fun with what we're doing as well.
How do you turn doing what you're doing fun for people? Let's talk about the fun experience, because by the way, I've also seen there's some cool stuff in your warehouse. So like you've got quite the collection of some things in there, and a car. I saw a car in there the other day when I was I think it was on your Instagram. There was a car in there, but I also saw, what was the collection that you have in there?
Oh yeah, so one of kind of my side businesses that I do is I sell stuff on eBay. So as a kid, I grew up collecting baseball cards. That was my main thing. So 80s and 90s, they called it the junk wax era. So most of my cards from my youth were worthless because they were making around 28 billion cards or something like that a month. It was insane. But I got back into that a few years ago because it kind of brings me back to my childhood, and I'm a super OCD person with organization. So I've always loved that process of organizing cards and putting them by team and player and all of that. So that's some of the items that I sell on eBay. But then I've sold everything from the other day. I think the store you're mentioning is I sold Little People from my childhood. They were those little figurines that kids played with. And at one point, I think they banned them because kids were swallowing them and choking on them. But believe it or not, there's still people that will buy those. So
no doubt. Nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I have some of that in my warehouse that I go into the weekends, and it's kind of just my playtime. It allows me to decompress and do something fun. Plus I make money doing it.
Yeah.
And our warehouse, we also have a shooting area. My son's a hockey player. I was a hockey player. So we created a little area for him to shoot pucks. And I also get to store my car there in the winter, which is
right.
Nice. Yeah.
So we were talking about, here in Nashville, we got a nice little snowstorm right around the first of the year. And most of our city shut down. And I was riding my guys. I'm like, guys, dude, they're laughing at us in Minnesota right now that we're snowed in over 8 inches.
Right.
That's every day for you guys for how many months out of the year?
Well, actually, this year, surprisingly, we've had very little snow. We probably only had 2 or 3 inches in the in the Twin Cities area, and the temperatures have been abnormally warm. I think last week it was 54 degrees. So normally we would be talking about -20 with -60 wind chills, but it's been a nice mild winter. The most mild winter that I can ever remember. But yeah, normally we have quite a bit of snow and again, the cold. The cold's the worst part of Minnesota during the winter months.
Yeah, man. I call it perspective. And I talk about it with my son's ball team when it's hot in July in Middle Tennessee. And a lot of times the parents are like, it's so hot, and I'm like, well, you can move or quit baseball. I don't know what to tell you, but you play baseball in the summer in Nashville, and this is the weather, and it's the same temperature for the other team.
Yeah.
Your businesses have to run, when it snows, it's local, and it's almost like, we go back 30 years in mindset, and the whole town shut down. Yeah, but we do business bigger than that now. Yeah,
keep it moving. Yeah, we don't let storms stop us. Minnesotans are pretty tough. We're used to the climate, the cold weather, the snow, and yeah, it doesn't matter, rain or shine, we're going to keep moving and always move forward and don't use excuses to stop us.
No doubt, man.
That's right.
No doubt. You guys are doing a lot of cool stuff on your social, your social medias. And talk to me a little bit about your fitness journey. A little bit. We talked about that the first time we met. That's something we kind of have in common. But tell me your journey in fitness and how that's helped to elevate your business.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, fitness has been something that I've been into since I was a kid. When I was 12 years old, I worked at a gym in Plymouth, Minnesota called The Gym. It was a gym where all the WWF wrestlers would work out. So I was like the cleaner there, and I would come in and Hulk Hogan would be there, and Jesse the Body Ventura, the Road Warriors, you name it. I got to see all of these massive wrestlers that are these superstars. So that was a pretty cool experience as a kid. And it's kind of funny because all these things that we do in life, everything fuels the next. So that journey led me to later become a personal trainer in my younger 20s for Lifetime Fitness. So I did that for a couple of years. And then later on in my life, my wife and I opened up an Anytime Fitness. So we owned an Anytime Fitness in downtown St. Paul for 9 years.
Is that a franchise?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Huge franchise. And we were actually their preferred vendor first. So we did all of their apparel, uniforms, promotional products for the last 18 years. And we've probably produced around $30 million of merchandise for Anytime Fitness.
Look at you guys. Let's go.
Yeah. And I feel really proud because we've been a big part of that brand building. They have over 5,000 clubs. They're in every country, every continent in the world. It's a pretty impressive brand. And their growth rate at one point was like several thousand%.
Man. And being surrounded by the WWE guys, those guys have the best merchandising products and promotional products on planet Earth,
right?
Right?
They do. Yeah, for sure.
I guess you probably learned a lot just from the proximity, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was trending or what was working and what they liked and so on and so forth.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I learned a lot of lessons from those wrestlers. They're an interesting bunch. I remember as a kid, I was working out at the gym, and on the other side of me was Hawk, one of the Road Warriors. I don't know if you remember those guys.
I remember the Road Warriors.
They wore the football shoulder pads that had the big spikes, and these guys were so massive. They were just big human beings. But I'm working out on one side of a cable machine, and he's on the other doing a lat pull down, and behind me is the mirror. And again, I'm like 12 or 13. I'm completely intimidated by this guy. And I'm like, sir, I'm like, am I in the way of the mirror? And he looks at me, doesn't skip a beat. And in this gargly razor blade voice goes, I grow without the mirror, brother. I'll never forget that moment. And I thought to myself, you sure do. You are a massive human being.
That's right.
So a lot of good stories like that.
The Hitstreak is powered by our partners at HitLab Creative Studios. Whether it's launching your brand new podcast, rebranding your current podcast, or taking advantage of any of their other content packages specifically for your social media needs, the HitLab is a one-stop shop for you. Visit hitlabstudio.com for more.
I love story time.
Yeah.
I love story time.
He actually once got into a fight with the owner of the gym. So both of these, 275-pound guys got into some dispute over something, and they were rolling around in the gym. I'll never forget that story. And the cops ended up coming. They were actually friends, and I don't know what the fight was about, but a lot of crazy stuff like that.
No doubt, man.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the franchise world. So you probably learned a lot about business from being working with a franchise, right?
For sure.
So because they've got it dialed in. They
do.
Especially when it comes to scaling multiple locations and so on and so forth. What was some of the things that you learned from that? One of the biggest travesties we've ever had in business was when we opened up our second location in the restaurant and hospitality industry, because what we didn't know was all the people left and went to the next location we went to open.
Right.
So that meant that the brand wasn't strong enough as we were the party. Yeah. And when we left, the party went with us, and that wasn't good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say one of the biggest things, I learned a lot of lessons from working with Anytime Fitness, but one of the biggest lessons that I learned and that I saw other successful franchisees, they have a process. So everything they do, they create a process that they can just move to the next location, the next one. And a lot of these guys have 20, 30, or even more clubs. And again, as long as that process is in place, the business succeeds.
It's almost like foolproof.
For sure. Yeah. Again, you just have to have the steps and again, just replicate it over and over again.
All the way down from the creations, the locations, the build out, the design, the hiring, the firing, the management, all the memberships, accepting payments, all that stuff.
Exactly. Just follow that same model over and over again.
Absolutely. What were some of the things that you guys got from that you've applied today? Anything stick out?
Yeah, I would say, again, creating a member experience when we owned our club, that was a positive thing. So we tried to know every member's name that came through the door. And I wanted the best club. So our club was on the river in downtown St. Paul. It looked out so you could be doing cardio and you had a view of the downtown skyline. It was beautiful. And I tried to think of every aspect. Again, if you know me, or if you're around my employees, you'll see me kind of pondering, looking at things, and my mind's always calculating, how can I do this better and make this space better? So we did a lot of really unique things with our build out, where we put diamond plate on the walls, because one of the things I hate is when you go into a club and you see all the foot marks and marks all over the wall. So we put this metal diamond plate up to protect the walls. Plus it gave it a really cool aesthetics. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then of course, always keeping the gym clean and your equipment in working order. We never had any ripped vinyl on any of the pads. We always wanted like the premium experience for everyone.
What did you learn as far as how to apply, brand messaging and stuff for, because obviously you guys are extremely gifted with learning how to package all your things, right? So everything that I know today, I learned from somebody else. 100% of my life was from somebody else that had done it better or first, right? So anytime you get to work with a first class organization like that, you'd be crazy not to take a lot of the knowledge with you when you go to the next place.
Exactly.
Right. So what were some of the things that you learned when you were building, when you were making what Bond branded gear is today, and how it's separate and how it's different and stands out from the rest? what did you learn from, I'm so fascinated with the franchise model
Yeah.
because again, as a business owner, you want to scale everything. You know,
That's
the
right.
studio we're sitting in needs to be in multiple markets, and it will be in multiple markets. And there's a lot of knowledge that you have from that company that would benefit old Nick over here.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
What are some things that stuck out when you guys, that you like, some things that you still use today from the design and delivery aspect?
Yeah. So one of the things we always did is every new member that joined, we gave them a shirt, a hat, a lanyard with our logo, so that we had walking billboards everywhere with our logo. And again, they loved getting this awesome gear as well. So that was one of the biggest things, is always to practice what we preach and create that merchandise that people love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So talk to me a little bit more about doubling business in 2024. There's a whole bunch of business owners that say the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. And I hope everybody makes it.
Yeah.
The odds are they probably won't. A lot of them won't. What's gonna be the secret sauce for you guys that's gonna make you guys double in 2024?
Yeah. Well, as you know, we've made a big push on social media. About 6 months ago, I decided to go all in with social and start creating content. Super uncomfortable experience. You have a lot of limiting beliefs. No one wants to listen to me. People are going to make fun of me. And I just said, forget all that. I'm going all in. So I went out and bought microphones and lights, and I started doing it. And my content is getting better and better. And I still have a lot to learn, but I'm always growing. But what I've learned is the reach that is created through social and the post. And there's no one doing it in our space. So we're creating videos showing the process. These aren't selling videos. I'm not trying to slang a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to educate, show people what's out there, and again, be different and unique and authentic. So authenticity has been the key to success with the social. So that's one of the things. I mentioned EOS. That's a big part. Anyone that you know, if you know anyone that's ever done EOS, it's a awesome tool. It gives your team guidance on, again, where you're at and where you're going.
Let's make sure everybody knows what that is. So is it like what kind of a tool is it? Is it like a CRM? Is it a platform?
Yeah.
How does your company use it? How does everybody have access to it?
Yeah, for sure. So originally it was a book called Traction, best-selling book. They've sold a ton of copies. And EOS is kind of the formula. I believe that's actually turned into a franchise, but we're implementing it ourselves. So you can hire an implementer, which is a person that comes in and meets with your team quarterly and kind of organizes it, keeps the meetings on track and all of that. But it starts from everything from creating your core values of what your company is and what you believe in. And that's what you hire on. It's what you fire on. It's what you promote on. And again, it's the lifeblood of your company. And then finding your niche, like, who is our customer, and, who do we want that to be? What size of business do we want to go after? How many employees? What's like the dollar amount, is kind of our area that we want to stick to. And then, of course, creating short-term and long-term goals. There's something about goal setting that has a way of coming to fruition. When you put something down on paper, it tends to manifest itself. So I'm a firm believer in that.
You know what I like so much about that you guys do, and even in the short time that I've known you guys, is like, you don't wait on me to call you to say, hey man, what's cool, what's happening. I love it when you just say, hey dude, check this out.
Yeah.
It made me think of you. And a lot of times I'm like, all right, well, yeah. So how do I, like, everything that I have and that I like, I saw it somewhere else first,
right,
and it inspired me to say, I want that, or I think I like that, you
Yeah.
know? And it helps when I've got somebody that knows me,
Yeah.
that's getting to know me and knows my business and kind of knows our spending patterns and so on and so forth. So that way it's almost like you're scouting for me at all times.
Right.
So that when you see something that's going to resonate with me, you just shorten that journey with me big time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're able to do that stuff. And then it's, you're dang good at it when you can totally pull something out of your hat, like the jacket I'm wearing that wasn't even asked for, and just be
Right.
like, this is you all day right here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you were right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of my greatest joys in business, is taking someone's brand and putting it on a jacket, on a sweatshirt, a hat, and gifting it to them. I get so much joy out of watching their face light up. And again, usually it leads to business and other things, but I give with one hand so my other hand forgets. And it just gives me great joy to always do that with friends, customers, you name it.
Folks, we're hanging out with Chris Heine, the CEO of Bond Branded Gear. You can check him out online at bondbrandedgear.com and on Instagram at Bond Branded Gear. Also, Chris, what's your personal? You and Dawn have personal Instagrams as well?
Yeah, my personal is Chris Heine Official.
Chris Heine Official. And then the lovely Dawn. What's Dawn's?
What is yours? Is it Don Heine? Let me look it up.
I'm looking it up right now myself.
Right.
Don _Heine.
There you go.
Don _Heine. Follow those guys. Check them out. Let's talk about old Don for a minute because she don't have a microphone.
She doesn't. Yeah.
So we can talk about it. Now, that's truly the brains behind the business, right?
That's right.
So, no, seriously, I work with my spouse.
Yeah.
It's the greatest decision I ever made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, it's not the greatest decision I ever made. Asking her to marry me was the second greatest decision I ever made, accepting Jesus as my Lord and Savior was the first greatest decision I've ever made.
There you go.
However, nothing brings me more joy in the world than working with her.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It's not for everybody.
No, it's not.
It wasn't for my parents. They tried it.
Yeah.
Didn't work out too good after a while.
Right.
Like you guys seem to be crushing it, right? So what's the magic sauce from your perspective?
Well, first, Dawn is literally my best friend. She's everything to me. She's the mother of my children, my best friend. She prays for me all the time, which makes my heart melt because, you know, she just has a super compassionate, giving heart. But yeah, she does all of our bookkeeping and also customer experience. So she's very good with people. I can trust her to run my books. Most people, if they were to ask me, should I work with my spouse? I'd probably say not, but because it is a challenge, you know, we've had moments where for sure it's a challenge, but she's done a really good job supporting me and kind of allowing me to be the leader of the company and the visionary, and she supports that. So
folks, it's important to get to know the people that you that serve you. And you know, if they're only winning at work, you know, and they're not winning in other aspects of their life, that's eventually going to affect you in some way. It's going to, you know, there's an end in sight when it comes to that. You can only sustain that for so long.
that's right.
But you guys are winning on and off the field. Your kids are winning. Let's talk a little bit about your kids, dude, because your kids are out there. They've done some great things. You guys have done all this business building and had all the success while raising rock stars, right? So talk to me a little bit about your kids.
Yeah. So we have two kids. Our daughter, Aaliyah, is 21. We actually just took her to Nashville a couple weeks back for her 21st and had a great time. And she's a phenomenal young lady. She actually is working for our business. So she is doing customer experience. And then she's also one of our brand experts. So doing sales. And she was actually a Division I track athlete. She was one of the top sprinters in the Midwest. Her senior year, got recruited by all kinds of schools and ended up choosing the University of St. Thomas and St. Paul. And about 2 weeks before school, they kind of dropped on her that she would have to get the COVID vaccine. And she wasn't about that, nor were we.
Yeah.
So she actually walked from about a $200,000 scholarship because of her beliefs. So that's the kind of person she is. She ended up going on the transfer portal and running at NDSU for a season. And she was there and she ended up tearing her foot during the season, still ran and was all conference in 2 of her events. So she's a phenomenal athlete. Super driven. She's not like most 21-year-olds. She's got just an amazing personality. She's beautiful soul, talented at everything she does. And now we get to reap the benefits of that with Bond Branded Gear.
That's right.
So she was at NDSU and not loving it. She hated Fargo, which if you've ever been to Fargo, it's not the most exciting city. And she's like, Dad, I don't know why I'm at school. And I'm like, that's all right. I've got a place for you. So again, we brought her on board and it's the best thing I've ever done. And
then, I knew you could sell because the first time I met Don, I was like, well, that guy can sell.
Yeah.
You know, because he landed her.
That's right. Exactly. Yep.
Well, all right. So go on. You're telling me about your second child.
Yeah. Then we have a son, Roman. He actually will turn 16 in March. He's a phenomenal kid. Roman actually is just a strong-willed kid, super talented. He's a hockey player. That's his primary sport. He's always been our challenge, though. He's more of, you know, again, the strong-willed nature, but he's a huge blessing to our family. So,
So why is it the second kid seems to be the challenge? Because Ethan is our oldest, and you've met him, dude. He lives, especially when he was younger, and like he just went with everything, went along with everything. Our daughter's totally different. Yeah. She knows exactly what she wants, and she's pissed if she don't get it.
I can relate to that. Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if it's something with mom and dad on the first one. They've got their A game. They're all in. They're watching every little detail. And then the second one, you're like, I'm just gonna kind of let them go a little bit. Maybe it's that. Maybe
they'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for us it was probably the opposite, because like I know I was extremely unprepared. Yeah. And I was still growing up myself. I was raised by two amazing human beings. My parents are fantastic. And but it was almost like, they had done too much for me, because I struggled with life a little bit when I was finally out on my own. I struggled with life. And it was one of those things where with my wife finished raising me because when I'm still amazed that she stayed with me in the early years because I was not at all something that I didn't even like myself. I don't know how she found time to like me or want to like me, but it's crazy how we weren't prepared. I wasn't prepared, at least. And my son he's turned out amazing so far. Yeah. And I think it was because obviously his mother had a huge influence. Grandparents have helped raise him. But it was almost like him and I were growing up together. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think a lot of growth comes with pain, having to take the hard road, learning that hard lesson. All of my successful friends that are entrepreneurs, successful athletes, none of them had it easy. I think that adversity and the ability to overcome it is essential in life. So again, taking that hard road, I think, is usually the better route to go. You got to learn those lessons.
The Hitstreak is powered by Team Hyder. Team Hyder has been serving you for 11 years and has racked up over 20 national and local awards for excellence in all areas. When it comes to finding the right health plan, we need to consider your family's needs and your family's budget. That's what we do to serve you. To look further and to book an appointment, visit teamhyder.com.
I want to talk more about what you guys are goals with your digital marketing. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I'm calling it. I'm going to say that you guys are going to be influencers in your own right, just because you kind of got the skills to pay the bills. You look good wearing the stuff that you wear, and that's a big deal.
Thank you.
You're kind of like the models for your own products. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what's some goals that you guys have? And I love, that's something that we are sought after a lot for our expertise in that. And and if you had any questions, like this is where it gets fun, is where we can kind of, by helping each other, we're helping everybody that listens.
That's right.
So what are some goals for your digital marketing for 2024? And like, I don't know, you got any questions that maybe I could answer for you?
Yeah, I guess my goals are to grow my personal brand and my business brand through social. So again, 6 months ago, I stepped into that journey, and I'm learning a lot, and I still have a lot to learn, and I'm getting better at it. But my goal is to serve. That's first and foremost. Don't really have an agenda as far as selling. I want to educate people on the products that we do, and I want to do it authentically and show people what's possible. And again, the ultimate goal would be to help their brand, whatever that might be, and elevate it to a whole different level with the products that we produce.
It seems like in the customer journey, first of all, they got to know what they like and why they like it. Yep. But then they got to know how to get it. Yeah. And more importantly, what it costs and how to pay for it.
That's right.
So what are some of the ideas? So obviously, as you're learning these things, you have ideas of how you want to use the platforms to grow that experience and to educate people on start to finish and grow that. How do you guys think in your space that you're going to, for instance, I'll talk. When I built the studio we're sitting in today and hired the people that have served you today, we originally brought them on and built the studio just for me. Yeah. And that turned into the reason that we have an agency is because I tried other agencies and they couldn't give me what I wanted. Yeah. They weren't working fast enough. It was like, I just felt like just another person in their phone book. I didn't feel unique.
Right.
So in your space, it is kind of like, I'm blown away that companies in your space aren't utilizing it more, because it seems like it makes total sense.
Yeah.
To do it, like to literally show off everything that you're doing and why. And true or false, when a business has that big experience where they get to order merch for the first time, they know absolutely nothing when they come to you. Their expectations are probably totally false, 0% accurate as to what actually has to happen for you guys to deliver for them.
That's probably true in most cases, for sure. We have a lot of people that come not prepared, where they don't have their logos. And again, we can help them with that. People that don't know quality, they want to, buy the cheapest product possible. And that's kind of where I come in, where again, I want to create products that have residual value. If you make the crappy Gildan t-shirt, are you going to wear that?
You folks, this is probably, you got to understand this. Doing what we do, people are so nice and appreciative. They give us stuff all the time. Right. Like every week, people are bringing us shirts, hats, with their stuff on it. And I did the same thing when I went to go see Brad in Vegas. I took him a bag of stuff, right? And I'm not one of those guys that gets cheap stuff,
right?
Okay, and I never have been. So we took Brad this bag of stuff, and you know what he told me? He gave it back. He said, dude, he's like, I'm just going to be honest with you. This stuff's too nice for me to give it to Goodwill or give it away or throw it away. I'm going to send it back with you because you guys did it right. But he's like, but I'm not going to wear it.
Yeah,
of
course not.
He's like, I can't wear it all. But he recognized the quality when he saw it. I'm not there yet, so I still do wear the nice stuff that we get.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff that I don't. Every single thing you guys have sent, we wear it.
Wow.
Right. So, but that's a choice. If it was the cheap thing, again, I appreciate them all the same, but I'm not going to wear the styrofoam $3 hat, that was looks like it was from the gas station out of the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not something I really care to put on my head.
Yeah, I agree. All of our products that we make for our customers, for friends, the giveaways we do are all high-end products. Again, go big or go home. I don't want to waste money and just throw marketing dollars, down the drain by giving that crappy t-shirt or crappy hat. I want premium products. So I give away, the Unreal sweatshirts to a lot of my friends, people I know, potential customers, and those are, with big logos on them. They can be $100 sweatshirt, but I don't think twice about it, because again, they have that same reaction that you just told me. It's right. Chris, I love this sweatshirt. I'm wearing it every day. And guess what? They're walking around and thousands of people are seeing them in this shirt every day. So it has a compounding effect, so that's the key. That's the goal.
So going back to the digital marketing and some of those goals that you have, everything you guys do is thought out, it's mapped out, it's got process, it's all got it's all purpose driven, right? So when you look at 2024 as a whole, and we're in when we're shooting this episode today, it's February, so we're in month 2. For me, I meet with my creative team on the regular basis, and we map out what how we want to use all the content. Like for instance, with just on my platforms alone, it's 3 to 5 videos every single day, depending on the day and depending on what we're promoting. Or like on Tuesdays, it's 5 because that's when the podcast episodes come out.
Right.
On Mondays, we always drop the sizzle reel and a clip to preview for the episode that comes out on Tuesday. So on Monday, if there was 4 clips that got released or 4 videos, 2 of them are going to be podcast based and the other 2 are going to be something else that we're featuring in life. And we break everything up into thirds, whether it be podcast business, family, personal, or then just flat out entertaining, right? So entertaining might be they want me to do some reviews or response videos to some other videos that I'm going to be watching later today. There's a story about where my wife my wife's going to be on Dateline, if y'all don't know this.
Really?
Just because, absolutely, because when she bought me some vitamins, this is the story I'm telling later today in depth, but she was refilling all my vitamins, and when she bought my fiber, she accidentally bought a laxative, and I didn't know, and I was taking it for like a month straight.
Sounds like a shitty situation.
True story. But like, I just didn't feel good for like a month. And, and finally we were getting ready to travel, and she was packing the stuff, and she actually read the bottle for the first time. And she was like, "Oh my God, Nick, I bought you the wrong thing. Like, this is not, it's a fiber laxative." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you've been poisoning me slowly this whole entire time." So that's, later on today, we're going to be telling some response videos. I'm going to tell some stories about that funny stuff. So the content has a storyboard, and there's a content map that we use to talk to. There's times a day that we pay attention to, and so on and so forth. So what are some goals for you guys, digital marketing, and what do you want to accomplish when 2024 is over? What do you want to say we did our job?
Well, first off, I am not as on top of my game as you are with what you just told me. That's really impressive what you're doing. Again, we've only been doing this 6 months, so I've had to kind of stumble through it and make mistakes. Some of my early videos sucked. They were terrible.
What have you learned?
Yeah, I've learned a lot to be authentic. But the biggest key, I would say, is one of my really good friends is Rene Rodriguez. He wrote a book called Amplify Your Influence. So Rene, I just did one of his courses, which is an Amplify course. And the biggest thing is telling a story. So I'm still learning and trying to grow in that area of tell a story on whatever product we're doing content on, or the story of Bond, all of those things, and following the formula, which is kind of having that hook, the framing and content of your story, and then your tie down at the end, or your ask, whatever that might be. So I'm working through that process and, growing every day with every video that we're doing. And I'm glad that I have stumbled through it like this, because again, you learn so much more. Initially, we were going to hire a company to handle all social, and we made the decision to do it in-house with me doing it. My daughter helps me film a lot of the stuff, and it's been an awesome journey. So A, I'm having a lot of fun with it. And then B, we're just trying to create content that will drive people to our brand and get them to know us. I mean, I think you made the comment when we first met, you saw my videos and you're like, "Chris, I feel like I know you just through the videos that you saw." And that's right. A powerful thing. And
it's a huge compliment.
Yeah. You're on the other side of the country from us, and we knew each other from content, which is a pretty cool thing.
That's right. So basically, again, you want to do business with people and brands that you trust.
Right.
And you can earn people's trust with the content that you put out over and over and over again, because if every clip is 1 minute long and somebody's watched 100 of them, well, that's 100 minutes of face-to-face time. They got one-to-one with you.
Absolutely. And again, you'd think people would know everything about my business, what we do, but I get a lot of people that are, see our videos and they didn't know that we could do an applique tackle twill logo. They didn't know we could do puff 3D embroidery and all these really cool cutting edge decoration methods. So it also, the education portion is huge as well.
Well, I look forward to the education pieces, because every time I talk to you about this stuff, I've got some experience in this just because I've bought so much of it for so long.
Yeah.
I've learned as much from you in the conversations we've had about it as I have in the other, 15 years combined. And again, especially with all the new technology that comes out, patches weren't a thing that long ago. And if they were, they were almost frowned upon because they were so low quality.
Right.
And now they're like, it's a totally different game that we're talking here. The 3D stuff, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, we can do all sorts of patches, everything from leather to faux leather. We can do PVC, which is a rubber that also creates dimension, so it sticks out a little bit. We have another patch called Flex Style. That's a dome, three-dimensional plastic. You can do them in a matte finish, a metallic. We can do straight embroidery on hats, sublimated patches. It's endless, and there's so many possibilities.
All right. So you had mentioned, who you're identifying who your customer is, who you serve.
Yeah.
All right. Let's make sure that those people that are hearing this today know, they're talking to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So who is your ideal customer? Who's the person that you seem to serve best?
Yeah, for sure. Well, one of the things that we do really well is we have a thing that we call the Bond experience. And what that is we create an online store We do fulfillment on all the products. So they're already embroidered, screen printed on our shelf. Their employees have access to this store. So, a lot of our programs will have hundreds of employees all across the country. They can all go onto this online store, order their product. This is the beauty of it, is that all of those products that are in stock ship out in 24 to 48 hours. So one of the biggest complaints that you hear from people that have dealt with some of our competitors is that it takes forever to get their stuff. And then also they have to manage everything. So we're solving a couple problems with that. We're taking that company out of the management game so that they can focus on their business and what they're good at. And then we're also saving time and then putting all their products under one roof with these sites. So that's one of the really cool things that we do. But to answer your question, we don't like to work with small little rinky-dink orders. If you're looking for someone to print 24 t-shirts and you want them for $4 and you're looking for the cheapest price, we're not your guy. We're looking to work with we're looking to work with bigger companies that want, first of all, a relationship. That's what's most important to us, is to have that relationship and long-term relationships. We have customers that have been with us for over 30 years, and clearly we're doing something right to take care of those people. So I would say, our ideal customer is someone that's looking to spend, $10,000 to $20,000 or more a year.
Right on. So like, for instance, let's just use this show, for instance. So in the future, one of my goals for 2024 is to have a store that people could buy Hitstreak swag, particularly the awesome stuff they see us wearing here on the show, right?
Yeah.
So walk me through that. This is kind of like where I was wanting to get to today. So if the Hitstreak is wanting to have its own little online store that you guys serve and fulfill, right? Let's walk through what Nick and the team would have to do to get that in place, and what that looks like, and for like the rest of the year. Let's say we're getting that up and running right now.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, number one, we need to create the site. So the sites that we create aren't like a plug and play like a lot of our competitors use. They use these generic templates that, are always look the same way, have the same products. Ours are actually custom built. So it's an online shopping cart that we build in-house. So we need to select products for that. What does that look like? You kind of start from your head and work yourself all the way down to the toes. Hats, jackets, sweatshirts, t-shirts, pants in some cases. And then the promotional product side of things is a whole nother aspect of it. Mugs, pens. We can do fishing lures with logos. If you can think of it, dream it up, we can probably find it and put a logo on it.
We use our Bun branded pizza cutter on the regular.
Yeah. Isn't that a cool product? That's actually called the world's best pizza cutter.
I agree.
Yeah, it is. It's an awesome product, and it comes in this little pizza box. You have a logo on the outside of the box, a logo on the cutter itself, and then it comes with this little paper disc on it, which we chose to put our digital business card. So it has a QR code, and they scan it and my information comes up. It's such an awesome marketing tool. And those things are like $7. So for $7, your product is going to make an immediate impact, and it's going to stay in their drawer for years and years. So they're going to have that subliminal message of seeing your brand and your logo over and over and over again.
I love it. So what would be some of the starting things that I would need besides, so we pick out the gear, head to toe, so on and so forth. What happened? We build out the website. You need to have 10 to 20 grand to be able to start to get that, to get it stocked the first time, right?
Yeah, it kind of depends on the stocking part. Not everyone chooses to do the fulfillment. That's something where, it's nice for like uniform programs, items that that you're going to consistently order day in and day out, and time is of the essence. So think of a company, one of our companies that we service is Plunkett's Pest Control. It's a pest control company. They have over 750 employees. So they have new hires that come on board, and they can't have that guy go to someone's house without a uniform. So literally their uniforms are in stock and turned in 24 to 48 hours, which is huge. So it's going to give their customers a better experience, so that they don't have some guy showing up at their front door and they're like, who is this guy?
Absolutely.
When he has that branded apparel on with their logo on it, they know who he is and they know he can be trusted. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So basically product selection, trying to figure out, whether you want to do fulfillment or not. And then a timeline, usually on the sites is usually like a month or two, but we like to under promise and over deliver. So typically we can get them done in less time than that.
That's what I'm talking about.
The Hitstreak is powered by Rack Financial. When it comes to your credit card merchant processing, Rack Financial is efficient, reliable, and trusted. At the end of the day, when it comes to processing your credit card payments, they make it simple, the way it's supposed to be. Check out Rack Financial.
Well, dude, is there anything, like, as we bring this sucker to a close, that we should have said that we hadn't said yet? Is there any other words or messages you got that you want to get out today?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. Well, first, I think we need to do this again because I had a lot of fun today.
No doubt.
But we're just really passionate about what we do. We love serving people and helping people. That's our ultimate goal. I am not money driven whatsoever. I'm in the people business, so I want to meet people, develop relationships, and again, help them. And the money usually comes. So again, we're looking to work with great brands and great people.
Income is the outcome, not the objective.
That's right.
Absolutely. So, well, Miss Dawn, how have we done today? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Did we win? Did old Nick do a good job helping out today? All right, right on. Ben, how did we do? Did we do good, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Awesome. Well, Chris, seriously, man, it's an honor and a pleasure to know you guys. Seriously, and I mean that with all my heart. You guys do outstanding work. I'm extremely proud of. In my closet, I have. There's the area of clothes where you're going to do yard work in, and then you've got your nice stuff and everything. Like this, all the stuff you guys have made stays on the high end side of the closet. You know what I mean? And that's where it belongs because it's not something that you go out and mow the grass in or anything like that. It's just too nice. It's way too good of stuff to do that with. And when we were at the DC, the National Prayer Breakfast in DC, I wore my hoodie the day we arrived and the day that we left. I got tons of pictures in that thing, and everybody mentioned the hoodie, that patch on the front, and everything else. And everybody knew about my podcast if they didn't already.
Wow, that's amazing, and that's exactly the goal. Is that right there? Mm-hmm. Everything you just said is the goal, so that your brand is elevated now because of those products.
Absolutely. Well, dude, you guys are just getting started, and the sky's the limit for you guys.
That's right.
And again, I'm just super grateful to know great people like you guys.
Yeah, likewise. It's been a pleasure is all mine. I'm glad that you're in our life. Looking forward to the years to come and growing together and learning more.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we've been hanging out with Chris Heine, the CEO of Bond Branded Gear. Online, bondbrandedgear.com, and on Instagram at bondbrandedgear. Also, your personal Instagram one more time.
Chris Heine Official.
Chris Heine Official, and Dawn's is Dawn_Heine.
You got it.
There we go. Well, folks, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Hitstreak. I am your man, Nick Hyder. God bless.